Well, the sun came out this morning here, which is nice. Finally getting to see this park in the light of day. So today is a travel day. We're heading to Percy E. Quinn State Park in just outside of Macomb, Mississippi. It's actually really right in town, so that's going to be good. We're going to be able to get some supplies. We've been out in this remote area after sitting still yesterday. It's about 4 hours. Google Maps says it's a 4-hour drive, so we are fixing to get hitched up. Already got the slide in, fixing to turn the water and the power off, and we're fixing to get out of here. So we're going to be heading east today, just due east. And unfortunately it looks like we're going to be getting into some more rain, because no matter what way I head, if I had due north, due east, or anywhere in between, it looks like it's going to be raining the next couple of days. So let's see what we can do. But today, both here and where we're going to Macomb, it should be nice. So after a wet couple of days there in Anacoco, it was really good to see the sun come out this morning. And we made quick business of getting out of there that morning and getting on the road. Today's drive was, with stops, was probably going to be about 4.5 hours. And we were going to be just traversing across Louisiana and Mississippi, not out on the interstates. We were going to be on the back roads today. That I had done when I had the trailer in for service in San Marcos was I had my hitch adjusted. So you can see in this old video clip how the camper is angling downwards towards the bumper. It's sitting at an angle. It's not level with the truck. And this was as a result of them mounting the hitch too low on the truck to begin with. But as you can see here now, the trailer sits much more level with the truck, which is correct. And what they ended up having to do, there's tension on these bars now, which before I had almost no tension on the sway control bars. And so now that I do, it's got this thing sitting better, and it's got it riding better too. So I used my throw darts up at a map on the wall method of picking this park. It was just on the way. One good thing about it though, it was in town, and we'd been out in the boonies for a couple of days, so we needed some supplies, and we got rolled in there just before sunset. To Percy E. Quinn State Park, which is right in Macomb, Mississippi, and it's on this big old lake. It says beware of alligators over there. I gotta get the name of this lake, but anyway, we just pulled into this site. It looks like I definitely am leaning this way, so I'm gonna have to drive up on my chocks on this side, it looks like. So that ended up giving 2 inches of rise on this side. And even though we were leaving the next day, I went ahead and unhitched anyway, because we were going to go ahead and head into town for some food to eat out. We were jonesing to go eat out, and we saw, just a couple of miles away from the park, there was a highly rated seafood joint, Mr. Whiskers. And so we went and checked that out. It ended up being some pretty good food, actually. And then we got settled in for the night. Travel day, we were barely here any time at all. And we are loading up, and we're going to head for a KOA campground, a KOA in Tom Sumba, something like that, Alabama. It's a KOA right off the road. I want to stop there because I'll be able to, it's got full hookups. I need some propane, and it's right off the road. So we are going to get loaded up. So after I had gotten pulled into this spot yesterday, I noticed that the only way really to get out of it was to turn to the left and come down into this big parking area or whatever area. Maybe it's there so campers can turn around, because I couldn't have turned and gotten out of this thing had I gone to the right. So this morning, all of a sudden some guy shows up and pulls his camper down in there and drops it off. I don't know what that was all about, but I was able to get on out of there. It was a tight squeeze. So that was Percy Quinn. Lots of pine trees. It was one of the old parks put in back in the 30s by the CCC. So Today in Pearl, Mississippi, at some place called Bumpers Drive-In. We just got off the road and I saw there was a big enough place for me to pull in here at this convenience store, this Marathon. Now, before we even got finished with our lunch there, the rain was starting, and we were in rain pretty much the rest of the way to this KOA. Now, they did not mention in the brochure that this KOA was located right near a junkyard, a scrapyard. Had I known that, I would have perhaps brought some scrap metal along with me, but anyway, we made it to the park just fine, and as is the typical custom at a KOA, they lead you to your spot, so wasn't much to it though. This place was small and really easy to get in and out of. To the Tomsumba, Mississippi KOA. It's just kind of a little place right off the highway. Like there's the road right over there. And the interstate was back that way about a mile or so. So this is going to work out just fine. It was a pull-through site. Didn't even bother getting in here straight. And I'm not going to unhitch because we're going to just get out of here tomorrow. Well, since I wasn't going to be unhitching the trailer that night, we had made provisions to eat there in the camper. So we were settled in for the night. Distinct sound of a gunshot go off. Somebody's out on their property doing a little shooting. Well, we got up that next morning and it was raining and rain in the forecast, and so we were not long for this place. We were ready to get going. The dogs didn't really want to walk around. It was raining, it was wet. There wasn't really much of a place to walk, so we just pretty much had our coffee and gathered up our stuff and we took off. We were on our way to the Chattahoochee Bend State Park in Georgia. We got one more nice look at the junkyard. Kelly commented that as junkyards go, this was a particularly junky junkyard. One other good thing about this campground was there was a place right here on the corner where diesel fuel, where you could get fueled up with the camper hooked up, so that was nice. So we cut across Alabama and headed into Georgia. Now this park we were headed to today, this Chattahoochee Bend, this is like a brand new park. This park just got put in, so you could tell all the infrastructure, all of the buildings and the roads and everything, you could tell it was just all new stuff. So I went ahead and got us all checked in, and luckily when we got there, there was a pause in the rain, so we were able to get on over to the campsite and get set up. And luckily it was nice and paved, and so we were able to get pulled into a pull-through spot and get settled in for the night. So this park, once again, as I said, it was a newer park, and so the paved surfaces were very nice, which was great since it was so wet. And we were on a loop. There were a few other campers on the loop with us over there on that tree line behind those other campers. The river's over that way, so there was lots of frog noises, lots of cricket noises. It was the park was alive for sure. And we decided to stick around for a day here at the park and go back home the following day, because it was going to be raining back in Hendersonville. It was going to be raining here today, and it was going to be raining back in Hendersonville, and I'd rather go tomorrow. The weather forecast was saying in Hendersonville we were going to be having good weather, so we went and explored the park around the campgrounds. It's music to Kelly's ears. And even though it was still sprinkling on us a little bit here and there, we went and got in the truck. Had to go find the river. You've got to go find the river when you're at a state park and there's a river. So there's the Chattahoochee River. And we went into Noonan, Georgia. That afternoon, we saw that Noonan was fairly close, and we drove in and got some supplies, had lunch there in Noonan, and then we were once again back to the camper for the night. So we got up on Monday morning. Luckily, it was not raining. Google Maps was saying this was going to be another 4-hour drive, so with our stops, we're probably looking at another 4.5. Now, today we had to go through Atlanta, and luckily, we did not get into anything major league in Atlanta. We were able to slide right through there, so that was a good thing. And then, before you know it, we were heading back up into the mountains. It was good to see the mountains again. So the weather, in fact, did do what it was supposed to do. It wasn't raining on us. We were able to get the camper put away over at the storage without rain, and that was good. So we started headed back up the hill to the house. We'd been gone about 4 weeks, close to 3,000 miles. We'd hit 9 state parks, 3 KOAs, 1 private park. Got hit by 1 bird. Other than that, everything went smooth. That small space, Kelly and I really like that space. Her and I and the 2 dogs do fine in there, and so although it was good to be getting back home, we were also looking forward to getting back out on the road again. So next time we see you guys, we will be headed down to the Savannah area for a few days, and we'll catch you guys on the road.